Today on Public Eye News, Wisconsin legislator proposes transferring Lambeau Field's ownership to the city of Green Bay, and hunting ammunition is hard to find as ammo shortages continue nationwide.
Later, Andrew Hoover will have your weather and Michael Cudahy will have your sports update. Hello, my name's Brendan Ford.
And I'm Justin Van Hoff, and this is Public Eye News. Several issues which surfaced at the October 26 University Forum, attended by more than 300 students, faculty, and community members. One was the possible repurposing of Whitman's Commons for lab space. Science departments on campus have been desperate for resources and especially lab space, so the administration suggested the possible transformation of, quote, underutilized spaces into labs. Several students and professors from the Center for Native American Studies spoke out at the forum against this use of Whitman Hall. CNAS faculty and students at the forum described Whitman's Commons as an important gathering space for their department and for the Native American Student Association. Professor of Native American Studies April Lindala echoed comments about the importance of the display of tribal flags in Whitman's Commons and noted that she shows incoming students the space. According to Lindala, CNAS faculty and staff were informed by their department head and Director of Education, Leadership, and Public Service, Joseph Lubig, about the possible utilization of Whitman Commons during their monthly meeting on Wednesday, October 20th. Lubig had just found out the information himself. This news was received immediate pushback from CNAS faculty. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer has called on the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association to cut refund checks to auto insurance customers. The governor says the MCCA fund has banked $5 billion. That's due largely to a benefit cap on a payout for catastrophic injury claims. This request would accelerate a paycheck for the fee that drivers pay into the fund. The governor signed into law in 2019 to reduce the surcharge and cap of benefits. The law has also come under fire for its limits on payments for long-term care for crash victims. The governor cannot order the MCCA to send the payment, but the fund's executive director says that this is under consideration. The MCCA will eventually have to send refund checks if there is still a surplus next year.
Legislation has been shared regarding ownership rights of the Green Bay Packers Lambeau Field Stadium being transferred to the city of Green Bay. The bill, which would be decommissioning the Lambeau Field Stadium district, also would be redistributing the district's assets. Homeowners in Brown County would receive a $600 check for this, with a total of $45 million being given to residents. On top of this, the bill would also eliminate the administrative costs going toward the operation of the district. Representative David Steffen announced that the Lambeau Field Stadium District has accomplished all of the objectives that it has needed to and serves no purpose anymore. Steffen is encouraging Brown County residents to take a quick survey regarding their feelings on the proposal. Moving on to some more good news for Wisconsin, the U.S. and European Union have reached a trade agreement ending retaliatory tariffs on American goods. This will cancel the tariffs placed on Wisconsin cranberries, motorcycles, and some dairy products. The original 25% tariff on Wisconsin cranberry concentrate has made it hard to compete with Canadians in the European Union. Tom Lochner, the head of the Wisconsin Cranberry Growers Association, states how that 25% price difference has made it less profitable to sell to the EU. He also states how the lack of importance and raise in prices of their aluminum has made it difficult for their packaging. Also in Wisconsin, gun dealers are having trouble supplying their customers with ammunition as the nationwide ammo shortage continues. Over the summer, gun dealers were having a shortage of stock and shotgun shells used for hunting pheasants, and now that it is deer season, the shortage has moved its way to hunting rifle ammo. Tony Bladler of the Wisconsin Conservation Congress states that within an hour of hunting rifle ammunition being stocked, the shelves are already emptied dry. This shortage has led Pat Kukol, owner of Superior Shooter Supply, to limiting their customers to one box of ammunition per customer. Some are theorizing that the gun manufacturers are hoarding ammo. However, Wisconsin alone had a 174% increase in background checks conducted for new shooters. Gun manufacturers have not been able to keep up with the growth in the market. And after this break, we will be back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
This show is a roller coaster.
On Finding Your Roots, comedians Louis Black.
Any idea what happened to Grandma after that?
None. It was like a disappearance.
And Roy Wood Jr.
Difficult truths generally don't go discussed.
Family history uncovers answers.
I'm the only one left.
And anger. Plus a DNA match.
I'm never doing this show again.
Finding Your Roots.
Tonight at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Of workers across the U.S. are on strike, demanding better wages, better working conditions, and more benefits. In what some have called Striketober, workers in factories as well as healthcare and food industries have either started or authorized strikes in the past month. It comes after more than a year of working during the pandemic and as millions of workers are quitting in what has been named the Great Resignation. And an undersea collision that injured 11 crew members of a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine last month was caused by an uncharted seamount in an underwater mountain. The USS Connecticut, a Seawolf-class fast-attack submarine, hit the then-identified object in the international waters in the South China Sea on October 2nd, resulting in moderate to minor injuries. An investigation found that the Connecticut grounded on an uncharted seamount, the 7th Fleet said in a statement. And the showdown over abortion rights in the United States once again landed on the steps of the Supreme Court yesterday. The nation's highest court listened to arguments about the new abortion law in Texas, the strictest in the nation. So far, it's not clear whether the court will issue an order to block the 2-month-old law. Natalie Brand has more from the Supreme Court.
During 3 hours of arguments, Supreme Court justices called the Texas abortion law unprecedented and a way to circumvent Roe v. Wade.
The actual provisions in this law have prevented every woman in Texas from exercising a constitutional right as declared by this court.
There's a loophole that's been exploited here or used here.
That loophole centers around how Texas wrote the law to try and keep it out of federal courts. Instead of state officials enforcing the law, private citizens can go to state courts and sue anyone who helps perform an abortion. Fines start at $10,000. The justices also signaled concern that the new law could be used as a model for other states to restrict other constitutional rights.
And it could be free speech rights, it could be free exercise of religion rights, it could be Second Amendment rights. If this position is accepted here.
Demonstrators on both sides of the issue gathered outside the court Monday.
We're excited to see a post-Roe America and be able to provide women with the resources they need to keep their children.
I would be very disappointed if we went back before Roe versus Wade. Very, very disappointed.
While Monday's arguments centered around legal procedure, 1 month from today, justices will hear arguments on a case that is asking the High Court to overturn Roe v. Wade and allow Mississippi's 15-week ban on abortion. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
In Pakistan, 13 people were injured as a roadside bomb exploded near a vehicle carrying security forces. Most of the injured were civilians, and there is no evidence as to who performed the attack nor why it was performed. The attack happened in the district of Quran in the Baluchistan province, 210 miles southwest of Quetta, the capital of Baluchistan. Similar attacks in the past have been thought to be performed by separatist and militant groups. The province has had several secessionist groups that stage attacks on security forces in order to show their demand for independence. And in Nigeria, a building that disregarded their building permits has collapsed. The 21-story building, which was only supposed to have 15 stories, has killed at least 14 people, with dozens still missing within the rubble. 9 were pulled out of the building alive so far, and several are complaining about the slow rescue response, which did not start until hours after the collapse. The owners being arrested for adding the additional 6 stories that were not allowed by the permit, which many speculate is the cause of the collapse. And President Biden unveiled a new plan to reduce methane emissions that significantly affect global warming, and also pledged U.S. help to combat deforestation. Skylar Henry has the latest from the White House.
On his last day of the COP26 summit on climate change in Scotland, President Biden announced a new set of policies to cut methane emissions.
It's one of the most potent greenhouse gases there is. It amounts to about half the warming we're experiencing today.
The plan would tighten regulations for the oil and gas sector and crack down on leaks from pipelines. It would also target emissions from existing oil and gas wells, rather than focus only on new wells.
This isn't just something we have to do to protect the environment in our future. It's an enormous opportunity for all of us, all of our nations, to create jobs.
Earlier in the day, the president joined more than 100 other countries to halt and reverse deforestation by 2030.
Let's end this great global chainsaw massacre.
President Biden said he will ask Congress for billions to conserve and restore the world's forests, but his comments come as a key Democrat here at home continues to question his current legislative agenda.
The political games have to stop.
Despite weeks of negotiations, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin says he wants more information before supporting the president's Build Back Better agenda. The framework includes $500 billion to fight climate change.
We must allow time for complete transparency and analysis on the impact of changes to our tax code and energy and climate policies.
President Biden also met with Britain's Prince Charles Tuesday. A senior administration official says the two discussed the importance of global cooperation in tackling climate change. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And after this break, Michael Cudahy will be giving you your sports update and Andrew Hoover will have your weather. Stay tuned.
Backstage Pass presents Mike Maines and the Branches.
Saturday night at midnight on WNMU-TV.
Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Hoover and I'm here with your weather forecast. If you look behind me at our NMU campus, there's some green grass out, but today was our first day of snow here in Marquette. Looking at the current conditions now, however, it's just cloudy with a temperature of 37, winds moving southeasterly at 15 miles per hour and a pressure of 30.22 and rising. Now, looking ahead at tonight, it will be mostly cloudy, a low of 31, and winds moving west-northwesterly at 9 miles per hour, and tomorrow's weather will be mostly cloudy once again with a high of 40 and winds moving northwesterly at 10 miles per hour. Now looking around the UP, if we start in Sault Ste. Marie, it is cloudy with a 35-degree temperature right now. Moving into Manistee, 38, cloudy. Escanaba, 41 and mostly cloudy. Menominee, 40 and mostly cloudy. Ironwood, 36 and cloudy, and Iron Mountain, 33 and cloudy. Houghton, 36 and cloudy, and here in our home of Marquette, 37 and cloudy. Now looking ahead at later conditions in the week, Thursday we'll see a high of 47, a low of 33 and mostly cloudy conditions. Friday, a high of 52 and a low of 37s, and the mostly cloudy trend will continue Friday through Saturday, where the high will be 49 and the low 42. Now Michael Cudahy will have your sports recap.
Hi there. Former NHL prospect Kyle Beach met with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and the NHL Players Association's Executive Director Donald Furr in separate meetings over the weekend. Beach is also meeting with the Chicago Blackhawks organization today, and details haven't been shared about all the topics that will be discussed, but the two parties are currently engaged in a legal case in the state of Illinois. Connected to this story, John Quenneville has resigned as head coach of the Florida Panthers due to his involvement in the scandal. Gary Bettman also held a press conference yesterday, and when asked if the second victim of Brad Aldrich, a boy from Houghton, would receive the same mental health treatment as Kyle Beach, the NHL wants to look into the matter more, despite a court here in Michigan having already convicted Brad Aldrich. And turning our heads from the disgrace of hockey to Tampa Bay, Florida, the Tampa Bay Lightning faced the Washington Capitals and picked up a good win to improve to 5-3-1. The Lightning accidentally scored on themselves, giving the Capitals a 1-0 lead, and Alex Killorn, Anthony Cirelli, and Braden Point scored the winning goals. And that's all the time we have for you today. We hope you have a great day.
I'm Brendan Ford.
I'm Michael Cudahy.
And this has been Public Eye News. Join us tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.